Hola, hola, hola a todos. Es tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Welcome back to the Cousins Corner. If you are new to my channel, thank you for being here. And if you're not new, welcome back, mi primas y primos. Today, I am feeling a bit under the weather. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not. I have not been feeling that well, but that's not going to stop me from talking because I'm tu prima favorita and I just like to talk, so I'm going to talk. And today, I just wanted to come with a little quick video about a couple things that I feel like women can learn from men. What? Men can teach us things? Yes, ladies, bear with me. I know. We're so used to being the teachers, the maestras, the facilitators, but there are things that we can learn from them. Disclaimer, some of this stuff you might already find yourself doing. Some of this stuff you might be like, girl, I got that in the bag. And if you do, good for you, prima. I am proud of you. Keep it up. But some women might need to hear this. Some people might need to hear this. So without further ado, let's get into this topic for today. The first thing that I feel that women can learn from men is confidence, even when you are unsure, especially when it comes to decision making or trusting in your instincts, trusting in the decisions that you have made. We talk about how men have audacity all the time, and I think that us as women can pull from some of that audacity and lean into that to give us more confidence. A lot of times we find ourselves thinking or overthinking or overly thinking about things when we already know the decision that we want to make. We already have our minds made up. We already know what it is that we need to do. And we're still just sitting around trying to make sense of everything. How do I make it softer? How do I soften the blow for other people? How do I maybe not choose the decision that I know in my heart is what I want to choose? And I feel like guys tend to be a little bit better at just being like, this is what I need to do. This is what I know I need to do. So I'm about to go ahead and do it. And they do it. And that's that. So I really do feel like in that we could learn from them in just making our moves with confidence. When you know this is the decision that I'm going to make, this is the thing that I want to do it. Of course, still think about it. But if you find yourself ruminating and overthinking, as we tend to do, as I will speak for myself, I tend to do, when I already know the decision that I want to make and ultimately the decision that I'm going to make, just do it. Like Nike, just do it, sis, just do it. The second thing I think that women can learn from men is just being more direct and straightforward. And there are ways to be direct and straightforward without being a biatch or without being insulting to the other person, without coming off as crude or mean. There are ways to be direct and very straightforward and still give respect to the person that you're being direct and straightforward with. A lot of times I feel like as women we can try to find ourselves trying to put sugar on everything, trying to sugarcoat everything to make it sound nice, to make it sound pretty, to wrap it up in a little bow. And what garners respect is when you are more direct and straightforward. Now, in some situations with certain people, you might find yourself needing to be a little bit nicer, a little bit more tender, a little bit more softer. You might need to sugarcoat things in some cases, but there are plenty of cases where we don't need to do that. And again, it kind of goes back to the decision making. When you make up your mind, when you set your boundary, when you know what it is that you're asking for or what it is that you want or what it is that you're going after, be direct and be straightforward and let people know that this is what it is and that's it. We spend too much time focusing on how is someone else going to feel, how is that going to come across, and how are they going to take that. And again, those things are important. But if you're finding yourself ruminating and just overthinking on those things, it's like, no, stop. Figure out what you need to do, whether you need to write it down, whether you need to map it out, whether you need to put it in your notes and create a little script for yourself, practice it for the next 3 days and memorize exactly what you're going to say. Be direct and straightforward. There is a level of respect that comes with being that way as well. People feel like you know what you're talking about, you know what it is that you want, and you stand on your word, and that makes you a bit more trustworthy and reliable because you're not so busy trying to make things sound softer than what they are, and you're not so busy trying to sugarcoat everything to make everyone else comfortable. You're more about getting what you have to say straight out in the open, the way that it needs to be said. Of course, you want to be respectful of people. Unless they're disrespecting you, then go for it. But no, you want to be respectful of other people. You do want to take those things into consideration, but you definitely want to make sure that you are being direct and straightforward. Again, it comes with a level of respect, recognition, and reliability that people are like, oh, you know what you want. You are about your business. You know what you be talking about. So just being more direct and straightforward. Another thing that I feel that we could learn from men is taking risks. Calculated and well thought out risk though. Again, it goes back to the audacity, and a lot of men will just leap without thought. I'm not telling you to do that, prima. I am not telling you to jump without scoping out the scene first and seeing where you land. I am telling you, however, to stop being so afraid. We get into this mindset, and I think a lot of times it is societal pressure of you need to come off this way, and you need to be softer, or you need to be more feminine, or you need to be more docile, or you need to be more of a biatch, or you need to be more hardcore, or you need to be, and there's all these need to be, when really it's just like what you need to be doing is honing in on what you really want and the way that you really feel, and stepping out on that and taking risks based off of that. Still, you do need to be calculated. You do need to think about it. You do need to look before you just jump out of that plane. But be okay with taking risks. Stop being so afraid to fail, or so afraid of what other people are going to think, or so afraid of the process, or of the pain, or of the discomfort. And take the risk when you know that that is something that you want to do, or something that you want to step out on. Y'all, mi voz is really annoying to me because I am not feeling well, but I was like, I have to create my content, y'all. I am on a schedule here. I got goals. I got a quota to fill. I got work to do. She got bills to pay, y'all. But but yeah, I was like, I have to make this video. So bear with me. And my voice going in and out and sounding very, very weird. If it is, I don't know if you even noticed. But anyway, next thing that I feel, and one of the biggest things that I feel that women can learn from men, is being self-serving, being more self-serving. This includes prioritizing your own needs, your own well-being, and making decisions in your best interest without feeling guilty. One thing that a man is always going to do is he's always going to be about himself. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to be selfish and not care about taking care of his family or whatever, which we know that can be true because there are men and women. There are a lot of people out here who are super self-serving. But I mean it in a sense that if something is not serving you anymore, let it go. If something is not serving its purpose in your life anymore, let it go. If someone is treating you wrong, doing you dirty, whatever the case may be, let it go. This goes into setting boundaries. And one thing that I think that men are really, really good at is setting boundaries. They know when they want to do something, and they know when they don't want to do something. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of men out here that are running around like chickens with their heads cut off, with their tail tucked between their legs, and their dingle waggle in their hands. We're not talking about those. We're not trying to be more like those. I'm talking about level-headed men who are out here making moves and bettering their lives. The men who are focused and who are ambitious and who are building lives for themselves and futures for themselves. These men are very calculated. These men are very driven. These men are very focused, and it comes with being self-serving. It comes with them knowing what it is that they want for themselves and in their lives, what they have to do to get there, whether it's I gotta cut off ties to these people, I gotta stop going here, I gotta stop going there, I gotta start doing more of this, I gotta start doing more of that, do less of that, whatever the case may be. Even if it comes down to, hey boo, I gotta stop communicating with you on the regular because I have a goal. There is such power in being able to be self-serving and that right to say that I have a vision, I have a focus for myself, I have ambition, I have goals, and there are things that I'm going to have to cut loose in order to get there. And it might suck, it might hurt some people's feelings, it might put a damper on certain relationships, which is why it's important to have conversations with people, because some people will just cut and move without a word, and you don't owe anybody that. But it is good to think about that and to think about those connections before you just decide to start cutting people off. But I will say being self-serving in that right is something that I've seen men do time and time again. Like, they will just up and go without a word to nobody because they're thinking about themselves first. And like I said, there's nothing like inherently wrong with that if they know that they're moving towards their focus and towards their goal, towards their calling. And that is a way that, and that is something that we as women can learn from them, because we try to patch things up so neatly and so sweetly. We try to take everybody with us and we want everybody to be along for the ride. And there's just times where some people just got to get out the car. Some people are just there, just causing chaos. They are making your journey to your destination more rough. They are annoying you. They are trying to grab the wheel from you. They are distracting you. They're telling you the wrong directions. And sometimes you just got to be like, hey, this is where you get off. And I'm gonna keep going to my destination. You can get off here, you catch a ride somewhere else with somebody else, but I gotta go. I have to be more self-serving. And I really do admire men for their ability to be able to do this, to be like, what you about to do? What you about to do? Because I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that, I gotta do that. And you're sitting there like, I thought we were gonna spend the day together. Like, girl, no, get up and go be about your business. Get up and go be about your business, about what you have going on. We can really, I could go on and on about that, but we can really take that from men, like, because they're always gonna move in what best interests them, be it you, be it her, be it this, be it that, be it gym, be it job, be it moving locations, be it picking up another career, picking up a hobby, picking up a side job. Like, men who are focused and driven are always gonna move in their best interest. And as women, we really need to learn how to do that. If you haven't already, again, if you have, good for you, prima. Stay on that right track. Don't let anybody get you off of there. But for those who need to hear this word, be more self-serving, be more self-centered, be more self-caring. Do what you need to do for you, because other people are always going to be looking out for their best selves at the end of the day. You need to be doing the same. Do what you got to do for yourself. My next one is taking up space in every sense of the word. Physically, metaphorically speaking, advocating for yourself, speaking out for yourself, all of that. One thing about a man is he's gonna say what he needs to say. A man who is strong up here, he is gonna say what he needs to say. He's going to advocate for himself, down to the physical taking up space. Like, men will sit on the couch and take up all of the space and leave you in a little corner. Y'all to call it man spreading, whatever the case may be. They will do that. So we need to woman spread. Now that doesn't mean go sit down with your cooch all out. Can I say cooch? I don't know. Go sit down with your goodies all out, your legs spread wide. I mean, if that's how you sit, that's how you sit, sis. More power to you. But take up space. Let it be known that you are in the room. We have been taught, and it has been ingrained in us for the most part, to stay silent and stay sweet. And there's a time and a place for that. There's a time and a place for your femininity. There's a time and a place for you to be soft and sweet. There's a time and a place, believe it or not, for you to shut the F up. Yes, there is, ladies. But there's also a time and a place for you to speak out and for you to take up space. You hear a lot of conversation about women saying that once they started speaking out for themselves, this and that part of their lives got better. Once they started self-advocating for themselves, this and that part of their lives gotten better. It's because people respect you when you come in knowing who you are and knowing what it is that you want, knowing what it is that you need. When you set those boundaries, the people who can't get with it or are not for you or are not meant to be in your life at that time or be a part of that journey with you, they're going to leave. They're either going to leave on their own or they're going to fall off by the wayside because they can't hang. But the people who are there for you, the people who are meant to be there beside you, the people who have an understanding for who you are and your needs, and you remain unmovable in that, you take up space in every space that you show up to, oh, best believe they're gonna clear the way for you. They're gonna clear the path for you. It's gonna be like Bobby's coming through and Bobby walks on top of anybody who steps in her way. So y'all might want to boot. I like to equate this example to when I'm like running and there are people who are walking on a sidewalk and they're walking like side by side. And I'm like, you see me coming up. You see me coming up front ways. I don't know what makes you think that you still gonna walk next to your friend or whoever. But I once made a TikTok video before, I believe, and I was like, I almost had to take this woman's whole shoulder out because she moved last minute and I wasn't moving. I'm jogging, I'm running, I'm at my pace, I'm on my side of the sidewalk, I'm running my space. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not about to jet out the way because you want to walk alongside of your friend. I'm taking out shoulders, I'm taking out babies, I'm taking out dogs, I'm taking out anything in my path, and I'm going to keep going. And that's how I am in my career. That's how I am in my life. That's how I am with my ambitions. I had to learn this, of course, but to show up and to take up space, to show up and to advocate for myself. If people don't see me when I'm coming up behind them and I'm running, I'm like, hey, on your right, hey, right side of the sidewalk, hey, move. Get out the way, because that shoulder will be coming with me if you don't move it. I'm not advocating for you to go around taking off people's shoulders, but I am saying metaphorically, show up to spaces and let your presence be known. Let your voice be heard. Again, there are times and there are places where you got to be quiet. There are times and places where it's not meant for you to speak. You need to learn discernment within yourself to know when those times are. But a lot of times we hush ourselves because we feel like, I don't need to take up this space here. I'm not meant to talk here. I don't have the accolades to speak here. I don't have the experiences or the years behind me to speak to these people that have been in this field for 12 plus years. And that's personal right there, because I've had to learn, hey, I earned my right to be here just like you have. I worked hard to be here just like you have. I'm in this room to do a job just like you are. And I have every bit of right to speak up, whether it's for myself, for my students, for whoever it is that I'm talking about or talking to, just as you do. I'm not going to downplay myself for whatever the reason may be. So I just feel like that's another thing that we can learn from men. It's like, take up space. Like, they come in the room and just, whether they're loud men or silent men, the presence is known. When a man is sure about himself, he shows up, and you can feel when that man walks into the room. And you best believe that Bob's the Builder, Brittany DeMars is also one of those people. You can feel when my energy enters the room. And when I feel like you can't feel that, I need to be taking up more space. I need to be taking up more space. Y'all don't know that I'm here. And it's not that you have to be loud or the center of attention or you have to scare people or any of those things. It's just that you have to be sure. And when you're not sure, or when there's something that you are in need of, you have to be clear and open, direct and straightforward, and you got to speak out about it. And you can't be afraid. And even if you are afraid, swallow that fear and speak through your presence, speak through your pride, speak through whatever you need to pull you through that conversation, because you deserve to be in that room. Not me over here preaching. Y'all get me to start preaching. I barely even have a voice. The very last point that I have to add into this that I feel that women can learn from men is embracing failure and using it to motivate you. I feel like there are plenty of people who do this already, who have that understanding, but then there are a lot of people who don't. And I feel like I wouldn't even say that this is necessarily just something that women can learn from men. I feel that this is something that people can learn in general. A lot of times when we fail in something, we might fail several times. We might fail one time, and we let that failure define us. We let that failure navigate how we continue to maneuver. And a really big lesson about failure is if it's something that you are truly passionate about, you will succeed. It might not be the first time, heck, it might not be the 25th time. But if that's something that you really want to do and something that you're really passionate about, something that you're really tied to, you are going to do it. So when you do fail, or if you do fail, because sometimes you don't, sometimes it just comes right out the box at the end, it's perfect. but many times it's not. But you use that failure to motivate you. That failure meant that you made it to a certain point. Now let's see if we can go past that point. Even if we don't get all the way to the finish line, can I go past the mark that I stopped at last time? Can I get past the height that I climbed at last time before I need to take a break? Can I run past the tree that I have to stop at and start walking last time? Can I get past that goal? Can I get past that mark? Can I get past that dollar sign? Use your failure to motivate you. That is what successful people do. They don't just say, all right, that didn't work. Just leave that there. And, and maybe they might. If they do, then that's something that either they're going to come back to or something that they weren't really passionate about the next time. But if it's something that you really, really, really want, you will succeed in that. And if you are moving forward, if you are progressing at each step, even if you are getting 1 centimeter past where you stopped last time, you're still progressing. So are you really failing if you're still progressing every single time? No, you're not. You're progressing. And that is part of the journey. And that's what's going to be the most beautiful about you coming out at the end of these things, when you can say, yeah, I had to do it over and over again. I had to restart 17 times, but that 18th time, I made it. And that's why I'm here today. Let me not preach. Let me not get my preacher hat on. Let me not get my preaching on. And let la iglesia dice, amen. Let me not do that. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop here. Again, these were just some things that were on my mind that I wanted to share that I feel like women can learn from men. There are some things that they can learn from us too. But anyway, if there's anything that you feel that I left off this list, or anything that you feel personally that you've taken away from men or from the opposite sex in general, please feel free to drop it down in the comments. If there's anything else that I didn't touch on and that you want me to go more into detail about, share that in the comment too. I love having conversations with y'all. And thank you for joining me in the Cousins Corner. This has been tu prima favorita, Bobby here. Gracias, primos y primas. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.